The jump in forgiveness on this club is the most we've ever seen in hybrid. It's seriously way more forgiving than the old one.
Oh yeah. Come on, I mean, that's the height I want, that's everything.
Right. So if I didn't try this,
we'd never know.
Never know,
We would
right?
never know.
That's why you gotta get fit.
All right, so recently we got fit for the Titleist GT driver and the GT 3-wood, and it paid off immediately. In fact, my very first round with that new 3-wood, I was able to make an eagle, reaching a par 5 in 2. So we're gonna continue that momentum today. We're gonna be checking out all of the heads in the new lineup of the Titleist GT Hybrids. We've got one of our favorite fitters that we've worked with here on the channel, Andy Inman. He's gonna join us here at this incredible facility at Hudson National. So let's head inside. We're gonna hit everything. We're gonna take you through that entire GT Hybrid lineup. Let's go. All right, Andy.
Hey!
You got a nice little spot here.
Not too bad, right?
This is great,
good
yeah.
office.
How's
Good
things?
office. Excellent. Good to see you guys.
So building on the success, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Here, we did the 3-wood and the GT.
Did? Yeah.
I was saying before, incredible performance. Made an eagle in my first time on the course with it.
You're just telling me stories.
No, I'm not.
That's
Not just
awesome.
to make you feel good.
That's
So
awesome.
Now we're gonna
That's what
continue
we
that
like to hear.
momentum.
Good.
We got the GT Hybrids.
Yes.
So obviously,
Got a new
as
family.
we always do, we're gonna hit everything.
Yep.
And we'll have you tell us about each head because there is nuances. but
Absolutely.
generally speaking, just tell me like what's new with this lineup, what should I expect, performance, feel, whatever it is.
So there's a lot of new technology that we'll get into the specifics of each head, but we've got more forgiveness and we've got more choices for me to solve the problem I'm looking to solve. And with the amount of adjustability we have going on, we can definitely get it dialed in nicely. I like it as a fitter because I've got more tools to work with to solve the specific problems that each golfer has.
Okay, and I know we'll get into this too, but the big thing I heard a lot, MOI.
Yeah.
Really come up with this lineup.
Yeah, not a lot. You know, you wouldn't normally think about talking about higher MOI in a club that's kind of like an iron, right?
Right.
The hybrid's supposed to be half iron, half wood. But there's a significant difference with the GT2, GT3, GT1 having movable weights. There's a lot going on. And it just helps me dial in that last little bit of really the detail, getting the ball to do exactly what we want it to do. So we're gonna get into it. I'm looking forward to it, to see where we end up. For me, I'm not biased towards anything. I just wanna have my players have the best experience where the ball does what it should do when they need it to do it.
Yeah, and for me, it's just gonna be building on that success because
Yeah.
I've got right now a really good performing, well-fit hybrid in the bag.
Yeah.
But if there's something that I can get extra,
Hey,
let's find it.
We know that the previous product was really good.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see if this has got a little better on it, right?
That's it.
Certainly gonna give us more options because we have a little more to offer as far as how much I can adjust it to tweak the last little nth degree.
Yeah, and we know when you give this guy more options, it's dangerous. So let's do this.
Yeah. Out of the box.
I'm telling you, I love this club.
Out of the box.
There's a lot of comfort for me. I hit it so much, I'm very used to seeing it.
We like this. Let's get another good one up in the air. Really good. There's an awfully good swing here. Who is this guy? All right. So let's start here. Let's simply start. Let's keep things really similar.
You know I love that shaft. We've done enough fittings.
So you know, there's a lot of this in your bag.
I'm
right?
always willing to experiment though.
Right. So, but we're going to use something that's known.
Yeah.
We're going to use this shaft in the new head.
So what would be the difference between the TSR2 and the new GT2 head?
Great question. So my lovely engineers are giving me a product that you talked about it first, with the MOI being a little bit higher. Means when you're having off-center hit, we have a little more resistance to twisting, so it's going to keep that ball going a little straighter. We're going to get ball speeds from a slightly bigger spot on the face. So let's talk design first. So you can see there's something majorly different.
Yeah, you got two
Right?
weights now.
Now there's two weights. So what does that do to me? That's basically spreading out where the weight is, right? So that means I can hit it more east and west on the face and get the same ball speed. And now, because of that, I can also, they're not exactly the same weight. If we have to bias the club towards a heel or toe strike, or maybe just a little bit of toe closure or toe staying open,
Right.
I have that ability. If I need to change the weight higher or lower, I can also do that if I'm playing a different length shaft. We would change both of them out.
So previously, you only really had this in the 3 where you could shift the weight.
Correct.
Now with 2 weights, you can kind of do heel toe bias.
So you're going to see that instead of the channel on the old TSR3, you're going to see 2 weights on the GT3 as well. What you're going to see on the 1 is that the 2 weights go this way. So I can change height. I can change spin. So that's pretty cool.
Like I said, give this guy options.
Yeah, give me options. I'm just gonna,
dangerous.
We're gonna have some fun. So, very similar shape when we look at it this way. Probably should have taken this off first. Sorry, my thumb's in the way. So, we're not reinventing the wheel here on what that looks like. Hey, this is a success. This is a great looking hybrid. So I don't think you're gonna notice.
Well, and to a certain degree, I want that familiarity.
Yeah.
Because if you put something completely different in my hands, there goes all that confidence that we just talked about.
Right. Exactly. Now, that one sounded...
Yeah, that one got a ton of ball speed, I imagine.
140, almost 141 miles an hour. A little draw to it, but hey, that's what you do with a 9-iron.
That's right.
Okay, that's probably the one you want to look at.
That's the one how I want to hit it. That slight little draw,
so,
nice height.
There's where we talk about how the ball's coming off. I still think that, again, the sound was just a tiny bit of matte first, right? So the ball speed was down. Obviously, beautiful trajectory, beautiful height, spin rate, everything's just, it passes the eye test is what I say, right? Passes the eye test. But to save a couple of swings, I'd like you to try the other 2 models just in case there's something that's you don't know about, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to this.
I've been surprised before.
Yeah.
So what are we going to jump into next?
So for a player that might prefer a fairway wood, just on aesthetics alone, we would look at a GT1.
Okay.
So when we put this down, you're going to see the appearance of it, and you're going to look and see that from this position, it's got a little bigger profile.
For sure.
It's a little big. It's got, maybe it kind of looks like a 9 wood or something, a little bit more.
Yep.
Right? Also, we talked about this before. Instead of the 2 weights being here and here, they're front and back. Now that means I can change the center of gravity away from the face or towards the face. So if I have the right loft and the right length of shaft and I'm doing everything, but the spin's not quite right, I have the ability to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can get somebody who needs a lot of help getting the ball up in the air, I can put the weight back. For somebody who just needs this type of club for the ball speed and the height, I can put the weight forward. And significant amount of spin difference. It's actually quite amazing. All right. So let's just see if this is better or worse. You can hit this twice and go, Andy, I prefer mine. And that is a correct answer because it's your opinion.
Oh, it goes high.
Right?
Yeah, and that I didn't even hit that great. I hit that a little toey and it went really high.
Yeah, so the ball speed, wasn't there.
Yeah, that was off the toe, but I mean, certainly can get it in the air.
Right? No issues getting it in the air. So if you had issues with yours, here's a tool in my quiver that I can say, all right, the player A is just not hitting it quite high enough. Let's try this one.
All right. Whoa. It's going to make it rain.
Right? So, hey, there's back to...
I'll tell you, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's high. That's higher than I'm used to.
Now, I will tell you we lost distance not because of the height. We lost distance because of the spin. So it's spinning too much. It's spinning up. And that's why it didn't carry.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
So
that's why it might have looked different to me too, because of the way it got to the height.
So let's just show you the difference when I flip them. So that's the heavyweight back. Let's see if it makes a difference for you. And again, it might not, should, but this is why we get fit. That's why we hit them.
Yeah.
Because we want to see what the difference does. We can tell you what it does for if 100 people hit it. This is what it would do on average for 100 people. Well, I don't know which one of those 100 you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for hitting that.
Yeah.
The 2 for you is better.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So that's really all we're looking for.
It's a very effortless club, though.
Yeah.
But you got another one for me now.
So now, if we said that the GT2 is the hybrid, right? Is the typical prototypical hybrid, and the one leans in design looking wise towards a fairway wood. Yeah. This one leans the other way. So if we look down at this, and as in the past, the 3 has had a hosel to head connection that it hints at an iron.
Yeah.
Right? It's got that little bit of similar look to it. It's also not as deep face to the back. Okay, so this is a smaller looking head. What are advantages of a smaller looking head? Well, if it's got a smaller profile, it's going to be better out of the rough.
Sure.
You have to move less grass, right?
Sure.
Potentially. Center of gravity being further forward, not going to go as high, everything else being equal. Now, with the ability of going with these weights, heel and toe, and not having the track weight, which really all ran between these two, the jump in forgiveness on this club is the most we've ever seen in a hybrid. It's like, it's seriously way more forgiving than the old one.
Interesting.
So if this ever had a chance to work, it's now.
I like the sound of this club, I will say that.
Compact head,
Yeah.
the acoustics are different.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tighter sound because the cavity that's empty in the middle is smaller.
Yeah.
So it's a different pitch for better explanation, right?
I know that's
not better
subjective,
or worse.
but I like it.
Not better or worse.
Yeah.
Different, right? And player A could say, I like this better. Player B could say, no, I like the other one better. So if we had to simply go and say, all right, I got 3 models. Let's rule one of them out. For you.
Yep.
Even though there was a few more smiles, I'm like, well, that's kind of fun.
It is fun,
right?
but
it's not the one that fits
realistically,
you. Doesn't fit your eye, doesn't fit the
GT1.
separation. Right. Didn't fit it, right?
Right.
The 2 and the 3 are better for you. Okay, great. Are they significantly better than yours? I would say from the numbers, just looking at quick glances, going back and forth, that when you misstrike it, the 2's better.
Yeah.
No doubt. When you hit them pretty close to that pinky fingernail, index fingernail, they're pretty close. And then we could talk about turf interaction. We could talk about how you use it in general on the course you play most often. So if it's a club that, man, 4 out of 5 shots, this is my get out of the rough club, maybe a reason to lean towards this, right? A little smaller heel to toe, it's going to get in and out of that rough a little better. More iron-like. More like a 7-iron than a 3-iron, right? But off a tee, and just general forgiveness, off the ground, off a good lie, it's pretty clear that when you mishit it, ball speed stays higher with the 2. So let's put that 2 back on.
I just think I want to hit that 2 again.
I do too.
Just because, like I said, for me and where my game is at is a 10 handicap, I'm going to err. If I'm right in between, I'm going to err in a little bit more forgiveness.
Of course.
Which I think I got out of that too.
Of course. But let's see what happens if I make one little change to the shaft.
Okay.
Just to give you a different feel. Just to see, hey.
Just a subtle change.
Let's make sure we're not missing something, right? There's
For sure.
always, this is 2 swings.
I just like it though.
Okay. I went a little heavier.
A little heavier, okay.
So you're playing a 65 series.
Yeah.
Stiff in the Tensai Blue.
Okay.
And I went to a 75. What would that do? Well, as you've put in the work, sometimes weight can give you a better feel through the ball. You kind of know where you are. It doesn't mean you're going to hit it better or worse. It means when you miss it, you know exactly why you did it. You can feel more stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't slow down, right?
Yeah, the weight didn't cause you to slow
220,
down.
perfect strike, right? 150 smash with a hybrid. We don't see that very often.
That's the most carry we've had too.
Right. Might have been your best shot of the day.
Right.
Right? So there's something there. Now, it's only good if it repeats.
Yeah.
Go again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. I think that's the height I want. It's everything.
Right. So something happened with this where you said felt more solid. Well, it was more solid.
For sure.
We had a couple of really solid hits. I could go higher. So let's do one last thing, and we're done.
One last trick up his sleeve. Always got one last trick.
Well, where were you? You were at D4. Right. We like the ball speed. We like the spin. I don't want to change the head. It's doing the right thing. The shaft length is perfect. Hey, a little heavier, maybe better. Okay. Let's add a tiny bit of loft.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it, man.
A slight adjustment change because we saw yours with good hits being maybe 5 to 10 feet low. Okay. D4 to A4. Speed's what we needed, so the length of the shaft is good, the head's good because it's spinning right. A4. So we're playing an 18-degree hybrid at 20 degrees. Okay.
Yeah.
No
We
problem.
still get all the distance we need at 20
Right.
degrees.
The speed stays with the fit, which is the length of the shaft weight itself, the flex, the head model. I'm just using the adjustability to get the apex I want, so it gets the landing angle I want, so it gets the carry I want.
Just dialing it in.
It's that last little bit.
Just
Now,
dialing it in.
that forgiveness bump from having the one weight in the middle out to the toe is what's giving us that little bit of, help on that mishit.
Yeah.
Right? There's the MOI increase.
Brilliant. Love it. All right, let's get you fit,
Good job.
Mike. Let's go.
All right, you don't get to have all the fun. It's my turn. I love doing this. I love getting fit for clubs, especially with Andy. He knows so much. You guys have probably got a pretty good lesson out of Frank's, but I'm a completely different golfer than he is. So I'm sure we're gonna see some different things, right?
We're gonna have some fun.
Good.
Absolutely.
That's what we have. We have fun
Problem
with Andy.
solving, right?
That's it.
Let's find the issues and see what we can come up with.
Absolutely. I love that feeling.
Out of the box. Kind of wanted a 220.
Yep.
It's a touch low. Mm-hmm. It's a touch low.
Okay.
Go again. Was that a perfect strike? I don't know. Let's find out. Guys, this is fun for me because you guys have come a long way.
Thanks.
I'm impressed.
Appreciate
I'm
that.
very impressed. This is cool for me. So again, you guys are both in the 2. You're both in the 2 at 18 degrees. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's start there. Your club, your setting, new version GT2 versus TSR2. That's different.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
That's different.
Oh, I love that shot.
So possibly better.
Possibly better.
Possibly better.
Yep.
That's all we've determined so far.
Okay.
All right. Before we change shafts and do that final sauce, let's go through the 1 and the 3.
Okay.
Let's go backwards from what we did last time. Let's try the smaller one first.
Okay.
Your shaft, your setting. Let's look and see what it does.
Now, what are you looking for as we switch heads? What's the key thing?
I'm looking to see, sometimes there is an advantage to play the smaller head for some people. We're always going to try it because we've talked about if it's a little smaller, it's a little easier to get out of bad situations, a little better out of the rough. You're moving less grass. But it's got to be forgiving enough. We would say the same thing on irons. Like, there's a reason to play a less forgiving iron. It's more precise.
Yeah.
Right? But it has to be forgiving enough.
Enough.
Right. So this is clearly, it's a GT3. It's a smaller head.
Yep.
I would expect the spin to go down for most players, but you might hit it with more.
Absolutely.
So we hit it to try. It could be 2 balls and we're done.
Okay. Nope. Didn't like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That felt
Like I said,
very different.
this could be 2 balls and we're done.
I mean, this is new proof right here why you get fit. No doubt. Oh my God, that was a huge difference. Yeah, no. 2 and done, Andy.
That could be 2 and we're done. So
Crazy.
What just happened in realistic terms? You looked down and said, oh, crap, I better hit this guy.
Exactly. I better hit this thing.
So it didn't instill any confidence at all. It wasn't the opposite. Like a lot of times, for years I stuck with blades because when I looked down at it, I was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
My focus got tighter.
Right.
Well, as I've gotten older, my focus isn't so tight, and I'm very happy to play a nice, big, forgiving 4-iron. But I still play it pretty small. I play a T100.
Okay.
Through the 7-iron. Because it still gives me that. I look down and I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And if I were to put a hybrid in my bag, which probably should one of these days instead of the 4-iron, when I look down at this, I actually like this because it looks more like an iron.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And
Yeah,
I go right to you better make it look like my 5-wood or my 4-iron.
Right.
So to me, just my preference leans towards make it look like a fairway wood or make it look like an iron. Right. This didn't work for you at all because we couldn't hit it.
Yeah.
It was intimidating.
Yes.
It didn't jive with your head. Okay.
Scared me to death.
That's fine. No issues.
But I do see how that could fit some people, no doubt. For those
Absolutely.
reasons.
Now, when we look down at this,
Bigger?
it's different.
Way bigger than the last one I hit.
Right?
Is it bigger than the first one I hit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So this is the biggest one in the set.
Right. If I need bigger than this, if I need the chassis to be bigger, I'm going to a fairway wood. So we can still then, if you still have to have a hybrid length club, I can build you a 21 or 24 degree fairway wood with a short shaft. There's There's lots of ways to skin the cat, right? So it's just a matter of finding what works for you. That's why, again, I love what I do, because we're just getting creative to find what gets the ball to do what we need it to do.
Yeah.
So this is where look, feel, and your personal preferences come out big time.
Yeah.
Because they influence how well you hit it.
Yeah, right.
It's the same. We haven't touched the shaft.
Yeah.
This is your shaft.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The head weights have not changed. And you're going, I mean, there's no reason why you're not hitting them all the same, other than something's affecting you.
Right. Mentally.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's something we have to acknowledge. We don't have to explain it. We have to recognize it. Okay.
All right.
So we're going to go back to the 2. We're going to play with some adjustments a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to see what we can make a little bit better. Same thing we had. I saw an opportunity for a shaft change. I see an opportunity for a shaft change.
And I was in
so I'm jumping the shark. You already know what I'm doing. Yep. I'm changing the weight. I didn't ask you. I'm changing the flex. No, I'm changing the weight.
Yeah. Just changing the weight.
Changing the weight. Now, again, not our first time together. You know that I'm really a lot about length and weight. This isn't your flex. Not too worried about that. I like you in the X flex. I'm just trying something a tiny bit lighter.
Okay.
Again, remember when we talked about irons?
Yeah.
When something shows up that's pretty obviously too heavy, most players that I work with, it's contact vertical. Right. You chunk one, you thin one, you chunk one, you thin one.
Yeah.
Well, you've shown me that on every single head with your shaft. The variable is the height. You're thin, you're heavy, you're thin, you're heavy. Well, we got to try lighter.
Yeah.
Right?
Got to try lighter. So 10 grams? Flat?
Yeah. So you're playing a 95 series X.
Yep.
It's about 97 grams, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Going into an 85. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
We'll take 2 of them.
Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
So that was interesting, huh?
Yeah. So I gave you something that was very, very familiar.
I don't think we got numbers on that, but it was, you passed the eye test.
Well, the eye test was
eye
brilliant,
test is
right?
key.
The ball speed.
Beautiful.
So TrackMan's just having a little issue. Let's reset. 2 swings. Eye test. Absolutely passed. A little off the toe.
Yeah, a little bit. But I'm happy with that result all day.
The depth of your swing has now been, we've got consistency now.
Yeah.
It's the right weight.
Yeah, right.
Now, something changed between when you got that and today. I don't care I don't need to explain it. I don't need to, why does this, it doesn't matter. I just need to observe it. I had an idea. It might not have worked.
Yeah.
I could have been wrong. Ask my wife. I'm wrong all the time. Okay. But it did work.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
it works a lot, right?
But
that's not an uncommon thing. Right. So talk to me about the ball flight that we're seeing. I'm seeing shots that are, if anything, are overdrawing.
Yeah.
So that, again, we see that on the golf course as well.
Yep.
Okay. That's one more tweak. Now we're into the adjustments because we got the fit.
Yeah.
Right? So A2. What's A2? A2 is upright. It's very upright. So that means the head is very much this way.
Okay.
I'm exaggerating, but it's just like an iron. If your iron was overdrawing, we'd flatten it a little bit, right? From whatever it is. So let's just see what happens if I put you at A1. Not touching the loft. A2 is not more or less loft. It's just a lie angle issue now. All right, let's see if your swing is a draw swing.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't need a help from the club to make it draw more. Right. And that may have been a change.
Those are the old days.
That may have been changed from when you had that hybrid first. Your swing may have gone from a straight fade shot that needed help not fading so much.
100%, yeah.
So maybe that setting should have been changed a little earlier. That's okay. We found out today. No problem.
That was old Mike.
Yeah. Now we're at neutral. This is dead neutral A1. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
It's crazy. I did.
Come on.
That's too good.
Come on. That's the beautiful thing about hybrids, fairway woods, and drivers.
Yeah, you can adjust it.
Okay, I can adjust it. I can play with it. That chart up there is great knowledge, right?
Yeah, I love it.
No problem.
And this is my final setting here.
Absolutely.
A1 GT2 with this shaft.
We ended up at neutral.
We ended up at neutral, right? So that was actually a good segue. We were talking about your players. How can anyone work with you?
Titleist.com.
That's it.
the tab fittings. If you happen to be in the New York metro area, you can find me.
And you guys should take him up on it. And he's an incredible fitter. We use him many times, and you guys will learn so much. I mean, I've learned so much just today on hybrids.
And I will tell you, if you're not in my area, check with my teammates across the country. We've got the best team of fitters across the country in every region. We appreciate you. And seriously, guys, good work.
We're trying.
Swings are looking good.
It's good to get that feedback.
So now we got to make some putts.
Yep.
And get that handicap down so you can, lose a little money to me.
Yep. We're going to get out of the course with this guy. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.